Hey, we've got a great opportunity to trace a lot of what Kelly's going to do from start to finish through the PWBA Minnesota Open. And we're going to ask some questions along the way, and we're going to get your feedback. We'd like to know exactly if you can remember what you're thinking, maybe what you're feeling. I'll feed some questions. So let's start with preparation for the event. Obviously, you know you're going to perhaps a facility you've never bowled in. How do you prep and how do you get ready?
Well, I like a lot of stretching, dynamic stretches. So a lot of squats, a lot of lunges, maybe a couple jumping jacks. Practice session was 2 hours long, so longer pattern tend to use pin-up bowling balls. Holes, no holes, doesn't really matter, but usually pearlized equipment so I can really hammer it with the surface, so it's still going to push to the front but give me some continuation on the back. Basically go through my arsenal of what I like and what I don't like, and from there I kind of can deduct some of the bowling balls and eliminate them, but still if I need to go to them I know it's there. So that's a 2-hour practice session. Shoot some spares. Do not bowl the morning practice session. I tend to favor the extra hour of sleep, so I have a lot of energy to carry me out throughout the day.
Excellent. What about that 10-minute practice before you get ready to throw your first ball of competition? Is that going to be similar or is that going to be different?
That will be much different compared to the 2-hour practice session that we have. In that 10 minutes time, for me, the first 4 shots for sure are just throwing at spares. I can't look at ball reaction with not being loose or warmed up. So for me, the first 4 shots, 7 pins, 10 pins, try to get that timing built into on the approach and not worry about ball reaction. From there, I try to break in a little bit of a shot. I'm also aware of what the other girls are doing, what kind of equipment they're using, if there's a lot of surface, what portion of the lane they're playing in. But I will try to burn up a spot on the longer pattern, usually somewhere around 13, 14, 15, so I know I create friction there. And then within the last 6 minutes of practice, I'll really start to hone in on making quality shots and reading my ball reaction and knowing if I need to change to a ball or continue with the one in my hand.
Now for this event, you guys were on a 47-foot pattern in length. It was a medium to low volume as well, so it's a little bit different than what most people will see in events when they get a long pattern. A lot of times they'll put long patterns out with a lot of volume. This was a little different though. Long pattern, less volume. Does that ring any bells or make any specific decisions when you start to put equipment in your hand and start to make your decisions?
Absolutely. So the lighter the volume tells you not as much surface, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 instead of hammering it with 1,000 or 500. But there was a block early in the front, so I actually kind of played it like a shorter pattern, really trying to get it to the friction earlier, and you'll see where I started on the lane. Typically in a longer pattern, you'll play in closer to the head pin, maybe around board 17, get it to a break point of 12 or maybe even 10. I was actually a little bit right of that with a weaker ball, and I built in a big spot, more girls on the pair, 5 girls, so the lanes are going to break down quicker, and after that I just chased it inward.
Excellent. So kind of a game plan even going in from that 10 minutes of practice session. You've already built in about where you're going to play. You're kind of fine-tuning your shot, feeling comfortable in an environment, getting your shoes underneath you and make sure you're comfortable with the execution. And then it's time for the first ball of competition. So anything specific you're doing right before that first ball, or you're ready to go, lights are on, and let's throw it?
I always look for the friction. I want to see my ball hook. If I can see the friction, if I see the ball change direction, I know I can move inward where there's going to be more oil to get to the path of the pocket.
Great. Okay, so it's going to be really unique in this environment. We get a chance to really start to finish. We're going to take a look at a lot of shots. We're going to show you exactly what was going on. We're going to show you what you don't get to see whenever you're out there competing. So we've got some ideas and things we want to ask specifically, because I think our audience is really going to gather some information about more than just the score. We're going to talk specifically about your reaction and what you're thinking and going through in the process. This will help us learn how the professionals do it and how they can become successful. So let's start with frame 1.